Now, SUVs have been dominating the automobile sales charts for a long time now. In fact, that SUV craze is far from over. In India, the Toyota Fortuner has been at the forefront of that SUV craze because this car right here has been the best-selling premium SUV in India. Well, with me today is the all-new 2021 Toyota Fortuner. Now, while there have been a few minor updates to the new Toyota Fortuner, the one that I'm most interested in is the engine because the new diesel now gets a lot more power. So, let's step in this car and see what it has to offer. In the new Fortuner, the biggest change is the new front end, as it now comes with redesigned LED headlamps and LED DRLs, a bigger grille, a new front bumper, and new 18-inch alloy wheels. At the back, changes are minimal as only the tail lamps have been reprofiled. However, if you want something that stands out, there's also the Legendary version, which gets more bells and whistles. The interior has also been updated, but it's pretty much more or less the same, and the cabin design and layout are also identical. However, the Fortuner is now equipped with a bigger 8-inch touchscreen, which comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Engine options are also the same. The 2021 Fortuner comes with a 2.7-liter petrol and 2.8-liter diesel engine. The petrol engine is rated at the same as before at 164 brake horsepower and 245 Nm. The diesel, however, has received a significant bump, and it now produces 201 brake horsepower as compared to the outgoing version's 174. The 6-speed manual version has the same 420 Nm of torque, but the 6-speed automatic, which we have, gets an added 500 Nm of torque. So one of the best things about the Fortuner is obviously the way the car has been designed, its reliability and toughness, and of course that Toyota badge that it's got on it. The Fortuner looks so imposing on the road. In fact, this morning when I was driving to the shoot, I saw a convoy of cars and all of them were Fortuners, and right in the middle was this luxury sedan. So I'm guessing it must have been a politician or somebody. But yes, the Fortuner is a very imposing looking car. It looks muscular on the road. It looks very big and brawny, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be, a big, brawny, timeless SUV. That's also why the design has not been tweaked so much. The car looks fantastic the way it does, and it's just overall a very well-built vehicle. I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? And Toyota has really done a great job marketing the Fortuner as a rough and tough as nails SUV. The engine itself is not the most refined, the interiors are not the most comfortable, but the fact that this car looks so imposing on the road and it's so capable to go over any road surface is the main selling points of this vehicle. The new engine has also got added power now, so that plays a lot in the driving experience. Making overtaking maneuvers is now a lot easier, no matter where in the rev range you are. If you want that added power and punch to move forward or make quick acceleration, or to make quick overtaking maneuvers, the added power certainly is a blessing. Now, what they haven't obviously changed is the transmission and the steering and the suspension, which is more or less exactly the same. And I have to say, you know, the Fortuner has never been the most comfortable car to ride. Sure, it is very pliant on the road. It feels very stable at high speeds on the highway. The suspension does do a great job and makes you feel very confident going over bad surfaces, but you do feel everything that's happening on the road. It transforms straight into the cabin and you can feel almost everything. The suspension is great for off-roading, it's great for being on the highway, but it really doesn't have that great absorbing power to make it a very smooth ride. If you forget about that smoothness, the other things that also lack in the Fortuner is the steering. The steering is way too heavy. It is not an easy car to maneuver in city traffic, and you really don't feel very confident when you're taking on corners at fast speeds. There's a lot of body roll. And overall, you know, it's not an engaging car to drive, but what makes this car very special when you drive it is the way that it makes you feel. Like I said, in a very commanding position on the road, you're sitting very high, and you feel fantastic, you feel confident, and you can bully anybody to get out of your way because this car just looks so big on the road, and it makes you feel, you know, it's an added ego boost or a confidence boost if you want to say that. It's just a very good experience to have owning an SUV like this. The engine is loud, it's certainly not the most refined, but at the end of the day, it's the experience of owning an SUV, knowing that you can do almost anything with it. And that's the key takeaway from the Toyota Fortuner. That's probably why it's been the best-selling premium SUV in this space. it's just such a capable vehicle. It can go over any road surface. It can be driven on the highway at high speeds. It's got plenty of power for you to have fun with. And of course, you know, when you want to go off-roading, you have that option with just this simple dial here to go into four-wheel drive low, and you have automatic transmission as well. I mean, you also opt for the manual, but I think the automatic transmission works pretty well. Even though it's old school, it has the zigzag pattern for changing gears. You know, Toyota didn't have to make this car seem very premium or extra plush and luxurious on the inside. This car is meant to be tough, and you know, Toyota has done a good job making even the interiors that way. The rear seats, honestly, in my opinion, have never been the most comfortable. I think that it's just too cramped in there, especially for someone of my height. The headroom is minimal. Even the shoulder room is not the best. The seat comfort's also not the best, but it's not bad either. Don't get me wrong. This is no way by any means a bad car when it comes to cabin quality or interior quality. It's just not up to the mark when it comes to the other competition. Now, if you look at the competition today, you've obviously got the Ford Endeavour, which has been the main competitor to this car forever now. And you've also now got the MG Gloster, which is a British brand owned by a Chinese company. And even though the brand is not as popular as the Toyota or the Ford's SUVs, it still is a pretty good vehicle, and it's got lots of space. The Gloster is very comfortable inside. It's packed with so many features. But at the end of the day, when you look at the Ford and you look at the MG, the brand value and the brand recognition is not as strong as the Toyota. The Fortuner is a brand in itself, and it just, you know, both those brands, Toyota and Fortuner, have a very hard-hitting impact on people when it comes to buying a tough, capable, and very muscular-looking SUV in the Indian market. Now, the Fortuner comes in many different variants also now, but they've also increased the price a lot more. In fact, the base variant is about ₹1,00,000 more expensive now, and the top-end variant we're driving right now is very expensive when you compare it to the Ford Endeavour or the MG Gloster. And still, I still think that even though the price has been increased, the Fortuner is still going to be one of the best-selling premium SUVs in the Indian market.